and welcome back to Pau in the foothills of the French Pyrenees for round 4 of the 5-race 2022 ICF Canoe Slalom World Cup. We had over 220 athletes from 37 nations who have started this competition, but now we are down to the final 10 in each category. It's finals time of the women's canoe and then followed by the men's canoe competition as we start to get towards the end of the 2022 ICF World Cup Series and determine who will take the title in the finale next weekend. It's a perfect day here at this artificial whitewater course in Pau. The sun is shining, it's very hot indeed, and we have a very competitive start line lined up in both categories. Weather conditions perfect, as I say, and the crowd anticipates a big finale. 25 gates on this course, 6 of them red and white upstream gates, 19 downstream green and white gates. And here is the format: the women's canoe final, then the men's canoe final. But before we start, let's hear from our course designer.
Hello, my name is Iratigikoetxea and I'm co-designing the course here in Pau. The course has 25 gates. It will be quite long, and yes, there are 2 tricky parts, gates 11, 12, 13 and 18, 17, 19, where they can choose the straight way or they can make a reverse. The best ones will cut the line and choose the straight line, but they can also risk and make some mistakes like a touch or missing a gate. So for now the course is only on paper. Let's see what will happen in the water.
Well, that's outlined the course that these gates are going to challenge the athletes. 25 gates stand between them and a place on the podium. Women's canoe final time, the athletes kneeling in the boat with a single-bladed paddle. Myself, Andy Maddock, and alongside me, Sona Stanovska of the Slovak team. And here are the World Cup standings after 3 races. Mallory Franklin, quite a significant lead after the first 3 races. 2 wins and a 10th place. Teresa Fisarova is also in the mix, and all the key players in this final.
Hello.
Here is our start list for the final. Mallory Franklin goes first. She sneaked in after a mistake in the semi-final, and it was Gabriela Shatkova. She goes off last for the Czech Republic, who's set the pace in that semi-final. But, well, all to play for. We've got the Olympic champion, in fact, all 3 Olympic medalists from Tokyo. We've got Andrea Herzog for Germany, who was won her 2nd world title just a few weeks ago. So not long before we get started, and you can see the intensity of the sun, the crowd definitely trying to find some shade here on this venue as we get underway with the first of our 10 competitors. Mallory Franklin of Great Britain sets off. She's the world champion on this course from 2017 and Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo last year. Already leading the World Cup standings after the first 3 races in this World Cup season, and well, very close to gate 6 there.
Yes, with so many mistakes in the semi-finals that girls touch gate 6, so they got a 50 seconds penalty on gate 5.
Well, this is the gate that Mallory Franklin struggled with in the semi-final, gate 9. She went in above it, had to recirculate, but just managed to do enough to get through and get another run down the course as she comes down. Great line here through gate 12. You get a great shot of the offset sequence 13, and now coming onto the bridge towards the business end of the course. As you say, Sona, the top section caused a lot of problems in the semi-finals. I'm sure there'll be a lot of learnings, but it hasn't gone away. That 5 to 6 moves, still not easy.
Oh, That was maybe a 50, yeah.
So Mallory Franklin got pushed onto the pole on gate 18, and it looks like a 50-second penalty awarded. That will be reviewed by the video judges, but the whole head must go between the poles and part of the boat at the same time. If it isn't, then that's a 50-second penalty. So if that stands, then, well, the podium is well out of reach for the World Cup leader of the 2022 season so far. A penalty now on 24 as well, and it's not been the best day at the office for Mallory Franklin so far.
Yeah, but it's always good to start the final with such a good paddler as Mallory is, because then all of the rest of the girls knows about what they should expect when they come to the finish line.
Yeah, well, here we watch the slow-mo of her run and some of the highlights, and we'll probably get a good view again. Here we have it. This is gate 18. This is where the 50-second penalty was awarded. You can see she had to stretch out, and well, I have to say, that looks like a 50-second penalty to me.
Yes.
The whole head is not inside the gate line, and harsh as it sounds, then it is a 50-second penalty.
But without it, it was really fast time, even with the touch, so she
You're right.
put down some really good run.
So 1:15 was the raw time, and the fastest raw time from the semi-finals was 1:14.63. So yeah, she's got the pace, but on this occasion it hasn't gone her way. So next up, the young Zuzana Pankova from Slovakia, just 17 years old, still a junior. She won the heats, then she progressed through into this final. Nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Yes, now she's a little bit struggling, but oh, come on. Oh yeah, she make it.
So again, trouble on the top here for the junior world champion of this season. And she was fourth in the World Cup in the first race in Prague, but then has focused on those junior results and preparation for those championships. So can she continue? Well, a little bit of time lost there over Franklin of Great Britain, current race leader, but of course she got a 50-second penalty lower down the course. So Pankova has the chance to set the bar for the others to chase.
She seems to me a little bit nervous, but she is still young, and each final just helps her to have some confidence for the next years, which is so good to see her in the final, because she's improving each year and she is working really hard. So
well, she looks like, you're right, she was nervous at the top, but she looks like she's building into the run. She's just a little bit more fluid, letting the boat run. Maybe the damage is done on the clock already, but it's a really respectable run coming together for the 17-year-old from Slovakia as she comes into the final. Double upstream gate, gate 24, 25. This is where the lactic acid is burning in the arms and the brain is telling you to stop, but you've just got to keep going, dig deep on this sprint and set the time that you've got to leave on the bar for everyone else to chase. And
but
there we have it.
It's still not a bad time, I think.
You're right, 1:17.94. That's a competitive time. It's clean. There, Mallory Franklin, a race leader, but she does have a 50-second penalty. So Zuzana Pankova has put herself in a good position to challenge, certainly for top 5, I feel.
Yes, it was quite nice run. Little mistakes, but still she somehow make it. So she might expect a good result with this time.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how much learning as well goes on between the semi-finals and the finals. There'll be a lot of opportunity for the athletes to look at reviews of video of how other people have done some of the sections really well. And remember, their semi-final run is the first time they've actually had the opportunity to paddle down the course. So certainly opportunities to go faster in the final, but it's easier said than done. Next up, Andrea Herzog for Germany, who has, well, she's just hit gate 1, the world champion, who added a second world title to her collection in Germany just a month ago, but beautifully done from 4 to 5.
Yes, again on the right hand. Compared to all of the girls, they are doing it on left hand, so she has really big confidence that she can do it, because even in semi-final it was really risky, but now she made it really nicely.
So Andrea won a bronze medal at the Olympic Games last year. Haven't seen much of her in the World Cup season so far. She's focused on preparation for those World Championships, and the only race she's done, she finished 21st, and that was in Prague earlier on in the season. But despite the penalty, she is up on the early split and looking like she's building into the run nicely. Rejected by the eddy line on gate 16, having to paddle back. That will cost her a bit of time on the clock as she switches round and prepares for this technical move through 18 to the upstream gate 21.
Zuzana have really fast this bottom part, so Andrea need to push a little bit more.
Nicely done for Andrea, really confident, but then again all the hard work undone. She takes a touch on 21, and the world champion from 4 weeks ago is not quite finding the rhythm on the bottom, and another penalty on gate 24. So surely Zuzana Pankova is going to hold on to her lead here in Pau. Already Herzog outside that race lead time, so a surprise here. I thought Herzog would be setting the pace. 1:23.06 into second place for now, but that time from Zuzana Pankova of Slovakia looking strong.
Yeah, really challenging time, but still a lot of big names are coming. This is a really hard final, so...
Yes, I mean, as we look down the list, we've got well, Elena Burgi, under-23 world champion. Anna Statila is a world medalist in this event. Teresa Fisarova, she won the race last year. She's the World Cup champion overall from last year. Jessica Fox, well, greatest of all time. Lilik, Elena Lilik from Germany, she's a world champion. Marjorie Delassus, well, French local knowledge, 4th at the Olympic Games. And Gabriela Satkova of the Czech Republic, who again, big name in under-23 circles and set the pace in the semi-finals. So we are in for a storming final. Pankova leads ahead of Herzog and Franklin. 7 to go. Elena Borghi of Italy sets out on her campaign for a medal here in Pau. Recently crowned the under-23 world champion in Italy. That race took place in the middle of July. Now coming down through gate 6 and 7. Certainly delivered that top bit well, but just losing her bows a little bit as she stayed off the pole on 8.
She is definitely one of the younger paddlers in this final, but compared to her, how much she improved last season and this season, it's really good to see her almost always putting down some really good moves, good runs. So.
Well, she's up on the split at the top, but she has picked up a 2-second penalty on gate 12, so that will probably cancel out the advantage that she had there. But she's still got the run of the boat, and we'll see where she stacks up against Pankova as she goes through the split. She still has the advantage, so nothing to choose between these athletes as they now fight it out on the bottom of the course. A little bit low. Elena Borghi having to work hard, but not too bad.
Yeah, her bottom is also good. She made just little mistake up on the course. Oh.
She got squeezed on 22, didn't she? And then she took the penalty on 23. So suddenly it looks like advantage to Pankova as Borghi comes into the upstream gate 25. Nicely exits. Now she has to sprint to the finish. She's outside the race lead time. So now, where can she finish? And the time slips away at the bottom into second place at the moment, but quite a gap between first and second. Well, 4 down, and Zuzana Pankova of Slovakia is looking strong at the moment, still leading by 4.5 seconds.
She looks pretty happy with her run.
So there we see the touch from Elena Borghi on gate 12. So this is just giving an indication of all the different camera angles that the judges have in order to review any penalties. And a clear touch by the boat on gate 12. And then down the bottom here, this is where Elena got squeezed. She kept it clean on 22, but just run out of space on 23. Actually did well to get her head inside the gate.
Yeah, that's a tricky part. We saw yesterday that a lot of good paddlers have problem in this gate combination.
Pankova leads for Slovakia, and now Ana Satila for Brazil gets her campaign underway. And so far, her competition, only one final in the World Cup in the canoe event this season, and that's uncharacteristic of someone of her caliber. She won a bronze medal at the World Championships here in 2017, and you can expect her to be strong.
We see a lot of changes in the age category, that all of the girls which used to be under 23 now are around 25, 26 years old, and they are getting just better and better. And these little bit older have then a problem to be always in the final, because those young are still powerful.
And Anna's one of those that keeps improving. Look at that, 2.28 seconds up on the top split. A little bit sticky on the spin as she set up from 12 to 13, but importantly keeping it clean at the moment, and she looks very composed. I always used to say she was quite a high-risk paddler. I think she might have changed her style a little bit,
yes.
And she doesn't take so many risks.
Even on her semi-final, she looks pretty calm. She was waiting all the time to do it just on the time. But, oh, come on!
Oh, she almost did gate 20 too well. She had the advantage going through gate 18 of nearly 2 seconds. She did a very nice move on the curl, but got drawn into the stopper. And I suspect that advantage and a bit more has slipped away. So it is all about now refocusing, delivering the last 2 upstream gates and seeing where she stacks up. Exiting the last
She can
upstream.
start to train with Ettore Ivaldi as a coach, so I think it helps her a lot, because Ettore is really good coach, know so many things about the technique.
Yeah, look at that, 4th place for Ana Satila. That move running into the upstream gate 21, just lost her rhythm. It used up valuable energy fighting the stopper, and she has to settle for 4th place. So at the halfway point in this women's canoe final, it is the junior Zuzana Pankova leading for Slovakia. Here, let's watch Ana Satila. This is where it all went wrong. She really delivered the move, but almost over-rotated. And then 21, and onwards, it just slipped away. So the race lead held by Zuzana Pankova of Slovakia, Elena Borghi of Italy, and then Andrea Herzog of Germany. And our race leader is at the finish.
Congratulations, Zuzana. Did you enjoy your final run?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this run. It was hard, but I'm happy with what I did.
Is the course difficult?
Yeah, it's very difficult, or physically or mentally. It's very hard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
5 boats still to go, and well, she must be excited because she knows she's done a good time, but equally she knows it is beatable.
Yeah, she was 4th in this year in Prague for the ICF World Cup, so she knows that she is good, but she's hoping for her best result.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's hard to tell, isn't it? We've got some big names to come: Fisarova, Fox, Lilik, Delassou, Sakova, but I'd like to say it'd be the top 4.
Yeah, but until now we didn't see any of the girls without any mistake. Even Pankova at the top part, she spin the gate number 4, so there is still time to which can be improved.
So the crowd eagerly anticipating the resumption of the second part of this women's canoe final, and of course French representation in the form of Marjorie Delassou, who was 4th at the Olympic Games in Tokyo last year. But here on course is Teresa Fisarova of the Czech Republic, the World Cup Series winner of 2021. She won the World Cup final here in Pau last season, and she's got to be one of the favourites to take gold here.
Yeah, she's always really good in the final. She's not doing any mistakes most of the time, so let's see what she can do.
So she's lying 2nd in the overall World Cup standing so far, and super tight on gate 5.
Wow, such a good recovery.
Kept her cool, didn't she? And very much still in the mix to defend her title. The title, though, will go down to the wire. Double points up for grabs in the World Cup final next weekend in La Seo, just over the Pyrenees. But, well, she's too tight on the gates. It looks like there won't be a penalty. She rolled after the gate on gate 10, but there is a penalty on gate 9. She was just too tight there.
She missed that.
I was just going to say, I think you're right. She did the spin, and she's missed gate 12. And while it's drama here, it's all gone wrong. Teresa Fisarova of the Czech Republic, she absolutely was pinning the lines, but she was leaving no margins, and that's, I guess, the risk in canoe slalom. Those margins were too tight. A 50-second penalty picked up on gate 12, and she's not going to be challenging for the podium today, but she still needs to continue to focus on delivery, because there's valuable World Cup points at stake. And it's not all over, because we know Mallory Franklin, the World Cup leader in the standings, is, well, she's got a 50-second penalty, so she's not going to score big points today. So they will take the race to the wire next weekend in La Seo. Well, that's a big surprise for Teresa, usually so consistent.
Yeah, yesterday she had a medal in K1 women's category, so maybe it's hard to again concentrate and put down another 2 good runs.
So she is into 6th place, and she goes below Mallory Franklin in the rankings today, and I guess that could be significant in terms of the World Cup points. She'll get less points than World Cup leader Mallory Franklin of Great Britain, but here it started to go wrong on gate 10. She did the roll.
She was a little bit too late and too down in this gate, so she had no enough space to turn.
And here on gate 12, does the spin nicely, but then exits the eddy without actually having negotiated gate 12, and no way back from there. So Teresa Fisarova, the World Cup champion of 2021, she'll still be in the mix, but it'll go down to the wire at the World Cup final next weekend. Jessica Fox now, the world number 1 on course, the Olympic champion from Tokyo 2020, now sets off. She hasn't had the consistency of a season in the women's canoe events, but she has in the kayak. She's dominated the kayak, 4 wins from 4 in the World Cup, and a silver medal at the World Championships. Jessica Fox looks very strong on the top.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, really good.
Outstanding move there from gate 9 to 10. Look at that, wow. 5.2 seconds up, and that is exceptional. The 4-time world champion is really finding her groove here and getting her season right back on track in the canoe events.
she always put down a good run in semis, but when she is in final, she can still make much better run, which is like insane.
So she's only lying 9th in the World Cup standings after 3 races, but she's extending that advantage 8.15 seconds up. And well, this is going to be a good run. Look at that move on 20 to 21. The crowd go wild. They know they're watching something special here.
Oh, come on, Jessica!
Oh, and she's cut the line too much on the exit of 21. She almost did 21 too well. She's had to recirculate, but she could still take the race lead.
Yeah, even her time is still quite fast, but this was such a big mistake.
Wow, Jessica Fox of Australia shows that she's still got something in the tank. Can she challenge the race lead time? 1:17.94 is the time to beat with a huge mistake. She is going to still challenge the race lead, but just outside, into second place by a half a second. And wow, she'll be ruining that mistake. We saw, well, that was vintage Fox on the top and the middle, and the slightest little line error on the exit of 21. But again, her experience, she held on, and she's still in a podium position.
Yes, she's not having the best season in C1, and now we can see that she's frustrated, but maybe it might be still enough for the podium. Let's see what the other girls can do.
Well, 8 seconds was the advantage as she went through the second split. She was outstanding up until gate 21. She certainly showed her greatest of all time, but that it was the mistake. She took the line from 21 to 22, just too direct. Had to get round for 23, but didn't actually get to 22. Elena Lilik now for Germany goes for gold, the world champion of 2021. And well, a penalty early on there, but nicely through into gate 5, but doesn't quite finish the delivery. 3 boats still to finish in this women's canoe final here. It's the 4th of 5 World Cups of the 2022 season, and Elena very consistent.
Yeah, definitely one of the best paddlers.
She's lying 5th in the World Cup standings. She had a 2nd place in the first race. Then the German team had to withdraw because of COVID in the 2nd race. Then 3rd in the 3rd race of the season. So she's been on the podium in the competitions where she's been able to contest.
And you can see that each race she's just getting better and better, and each year she's getting better. So,
and yeah, she's had, I mean, in terms of her kayak and canoe, she came away in 2021 with 3 medals from the World Championships, and she did it again in Augsburg, albeit 2 of them were in the team event, but again, another one. Just struggling 20 to 21, she's low.
But in semi-final, maybe just like 1 or 2 girls had a problem in this part, and now almost each of the girls.
So now a penalty on 23, similar problems down on the bottom, and it looks like Pankova will hold on again on the top of the leaderboard. In and out of the final upstream, Elena Lilik for Germany is already outside of the race lead time, so she's not going to score a podium finish today. Into 6th place. So another shock here, but the good news is Slovakia have a medal. And the question is, what colour will it be? And the smile on her face is justified. There, our race leader, Zuzana Pankova of Slovakia, holding on with 2 to go.
But also yesterday with Gabriel, he's not one of the best paddlers, but he put down already in so many semi-finals and qualification good run, and yesterday he won, which was so cool.
You're right, and the juniors, the younger paddlers have been making a name for themselves here in Pau. We saw Gabriel da Costa take gold in the men's kayak, who is still an under 23.
Yes.
And for Belgium, that's not a national anthem you hear much in canoe slalom.
Definitely.
So 2 to go, and on course, Marjorie Delassou of France goes for gold in front of a home crowd here. And she was 4th at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. She's already had 2 finals from her 2 World Cups that she's competed in, including a medal in the 2nd World Cup of the season. So not off to a great start with that touch, but I think with her pace, you could still see her taking gold here.
Yeah, for her, 1 touch means almost nothing because she's still so fast.
So she's the under-23 European champion of 2019. She's 5th at the World Championships last year. In terms of this year's performance, she was 6th, so really starting to get consistent. But 2 touches now, can't afford any more.
Yeah, but she is still just with Zuzana's time.
Yeah, you're right, and we'll get an indication. She's coming into gate 16.
Nice.
And when she crosses gate 18, we'll get the 2nd split and find out whether she's still in contention for the race lead. But another penalty, but still, she is in with a shout. So this is all going to go down to the bottom part of the course, and she's low. She's low into 21. The crowd will will her on, but surely the advantage is back with Pankova of Slovakia.
She couldn't catch her pedal.
Well, she's late again on 23. She has lost the rhythm of the boat. Let's not get this wrong. She's still contending for a place on the podium, but the win is slipping away here, I think. And a touch on 25 now. 8 seconds in penalties. She's still going to challenge for a place in the top 3, but it is Pankova still leading. And into 4th place, Marjorie Delassou of France. Well, just outside the podium spot there. And with 1 to go, Zuzana Pankova there for Slovakia, leading the way, ahead of Jessica Fox of Australia. Elena Borghi of Italy, the under-23 world champion of this year, holds on to 3rd place. Well, it started there. That was the first of the penalties. 4 touches, 8 seconds of penalties, and well, 1:14.82, another blisteringly fast time from Marjorie Delassou of France, but fast and clean is the name of the game.
Yes, so 1 more boat to go. Big name.
There, the emotions in the French crowd. But of course, the men's canoe final will be up next, and there's 3 French boats in that race. 1 to go. Gabriela Satkova goes for gold for the Czech Republic. She set the pace in the semi-finals and is surely a favourite. She's an under-23 European champion of 2022. She took the World Championship silver medal at under-23 level. A little bit low in 5, but we know it's not a drama.
Yes.
She's just got to deliver a solid run, keep it clean, and she can take that smile off the face of Zuzana Pankova a little bit, but I suspect a silver medal for the junior would still be very well received. 3.2 seconds up on the top split. Satkova is on the charge.
She had really good the top part because her boat was always moving.
Yeah, and you get a good angle from the drone camera there. You really get to see how well the boat is flowing through the different sequences, and we'll get an indication of the 2nd split, whether she's extended that advantage, which she has. 5.5 seconds. Satkova has it all on the plate now. It's hers to lose as she comes into the difficult section that's caused all sorts of problems.
Yeah, she already have some senior medals, so she knows what to do in a senior final.
Well, she's through gate 22 and 23. She's clean so far. She's just got to stay focused in the last 2 upstream gates. It's so easy to just get fatigued, cut the line a little bit more than you wanted, but she's clean. And surely we're looking at the race winner here in Pau of the 4th World Cup of the ICF World Cup season. She's comfortably inside, and well done, Gabriela Satkova. She takes gold here in Pau.
Really good run.
And look at the time, 1:13.54. She's gone quicker than she managed in the semi-finals. So it isn't just the fact that others underperformed. She delivered when it mattered. Well, provisionally, there, Gabriela Satkova for the Czech Republic takes gold here in Pau, ahead of Zuzana Pankova of Slovakia. What a result for Zuzana. And then Jessica Fox of Australia, who put in an outstanding run apart from a couple of gates, still holds on for bronze for Australia. So Gabriela's run, she just looks so composed.
Yeah, she's always really good in the final. I think her head is really just pushing her because she knows that she is good.
So she's had a 5th place and a win in the 2 races she's done in the World Cup. She was 7th at the World Championships, and she's really starting to emerge at senior level in a big way.
Sisters.
Yeah. Martina not making it through into the final, but yeah, there we have it. Our race winner, Gabriela Satkova for the Czech Republic. And well, she is celebrating that moment. Here are the results from the women's canoe final. And look at that. The Czech Republic take gold. Slovakia's Zuzana Pankova, still 17 years old, takes silver. And Jessica Fox of Australia is on the podium. And believe it or not, that's the first time she's on the podium in this World Cup season in the women's canoe.
Yeah, even with a big mistake, she can still manage it because her run at the top part was just amazing.
So Jessica Fox moves up the order to 4th place, but it is still Franklin leading the overall standings after 4 races. Teresa Fisarova stays in 2nd place. Lilik is in 3rd, moves up the order as well. All will be decided next weekend. Double points in Laseo for the World Cup final, and of course you can follow that live here at Planet Canoe. Hopefully we'll get a word with our race winner, Gabriela Satkova for the Czech Republic, down at the bottom of the course. But what a run that was under huge pressure, and our winner is down at the finish.
Congratulations, Gabriela, your first World Cup win here in Pau. First thought?
It's amazing. I just can't believe it. You know, the pressure was really big, especially when I was starting from the last position. So it means a lot to me today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, great performance there. And, well, we're not done yet. The men's canoe final is up next. So thank you, Sona, for joining me here in the booth to talk us through this. And for myself, Andy Maddock, I'll stay with you for the men's canoe final up next. But what a final we had. Final reflections?
Just amazing. I'm so happy with Gabriela because she's training so hard, but also young girl from Slovakia. Good to see her on the podium. And again, Jess, finally, for this season. So.
Well, that'll be important for her confidence and
Yes.
building into 2023, a big year for everyone as we start to hone in on the Paris Olympic qualification. So, Satkova takes gold for the Czech Republic, Pankova silver for Slovakia, and Fox takes the bronze for Australia.
Hello, I'm Adam Burgess, a canoe athlete from Great Britain, and I competed in last year's Tokyo Olympic Games. Breathing is super important in sport. One thing you might know is that when we inhale, our heart rate speeds up, and when we exhale, our heart rate slows down. What we can do to manipulate that to our advantage is we can extend that exhale. So we're exhaling more than we are inhaling. It's going to make our heart rate slow down. might make us feel a little bit less nervous pre-competition. During the performance itself, you might notice there are certain times where holding the breath can be useful. During upstream gates, doing certain moves like bow rudders, we need that, what we call intra-abdominal pressure to protect the spine. You may see us hold on an inhale and then blow it out to get rid. It's really important then to regain control of that breath. But how to do that's my secret.
Well, great to hear there from Adam Burgess of Great Britain as we will get underway with the men's canoe final, and he will actually be off first in this men's canoe final. He was 10th in the semi-final, but what a lineup we have in this final. So let's just refresh the standings after the first 3 races. Bozic and Savsek of Slovenia tied on points, but all to play for, and well, the top 5, well, 5 of the top 6 of the World Cup standings are here in this final. Here's the lineup, and it was Mate Benush who set the pace in the semi-final, but we've got 3 French boats in the final, and we can expect a tough competition. Myself, Andy Maddock, still with you, and now Brodie Crawford alongside me from the Australian team as we're underway.
Here we go. Great to see Adam here, starting his run well. Into the first tricky move of the course, 4 to 5. Very fast, very smooth, carrying the speed. Looking good so far.
Well, let's watch, as it's important you can really get into the rhythm on the top part of the course, but now we're starting to get into some of the critical moves. This gate 10, you've got to keep it clean, but also keep the bows and the boat in the flow, haven't you?
Absolutely, and he's done just that. He's done it very nicely. Centimetre perfect with the neck around the gate, and very fast spin on 12. It's looking good.
So now he comes down towards the bridge, and this into the final section. This is where the most of the crowd are here. It's a really hot day here in Pau, and the crowd are hiding in the shade, but they are very vocal, and they certainly will be when the French come down.
Yeah, and he's nailed that up 16. Lots of pop out. The boat jumped out of the upstream. He's carrying that speed through the next 2 moves. Now the Kraken, the trickiest move, perhaps at the bottom. Oh, just a touch on the inside pole. He's got to push now.
He has, and he's dropped low as well as the touch. So a mistake there for Burgess of Great Britain. He was 4th at the Olympic Games last year. He made the World Championship final this year. And still, he's on track, but there's some very quick boats still to come.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good time. Be a good first hit out. Sort of put the pressure on the others, but the touch, I think, could hurt him as far as medals go today.
Yeah, the fastest raw time was 100 seconds, 100.84 in the semi-final, 108.14. It's a good time, but I think he's left the door wide open for those still to come. But great to see Adam in another final, and a really consistent season so far.
Yeah, I think he'll be a little disappointed with that run. It was very close, just a few sections costing him and making the difference. That's the nature of the game, unfortunately. But yeah, great effort from Adam.
Well, after missing the final at the first race of the World Cup Series, he's been in the final for the next 3, and that's good consistency. I know that's what he's after. He was a World Under-23 champion back in 2015, and showing he's transitioning well into senior performances. So Burgess sets the pace early on in this men's canoe final. Next up, Liam Jagu of Ireland. He's an Under-23 World Championship medalist. He's a World Cup winner of the World Cup here in Pau, actually, in 2020. He's an Olympian, and well, if he finds his line, he could be very hard to beat today.
Absolutely, he loves Pau. He's really good here, good track record here. Really dynamic paddler, really can whip the boat around very fast, quite light and strong. 4 or 5, just getting washed low, just getting boiled out there, and costing a little bit of time in 5. He's got to push now. make it back up on these next tricky moves. This uplift, down right move has been the difference for many paddlers. So let's see how he goes here.
They got given a penalty on gate 1. I didn't see that, but it is being reviewed by the video judges. They'll look at a number of different camera options to just finalise any penalties. And now 3.76 down on Burgess of Great Britain. Well, Burgess was strong at the top of the middle. It was the bottom section where Burgess lost some time. So it's not all over for Gigoux as he comes down into the stadium section.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw from some of the top guys how much time there is in that bottom section. Like Gago and Trabe, they really made so much time down there. So it's not over yet. It's looking tough.
Well, it is. He's up against it. And of course, he's not just racing Burgess, our current race leader. He's racing those still to come as he comes into 21. He's delivered that move tidily. Now, still got to find the line through here. He's tight on 22 and 23. I think that was really nicely done. And he whips it on 24. And this, of course, Burgess lost time at the bottom. He had a penalty and a bit of time loss. So Gigoux may well close the gap here. 108.14 is the time to beat. It's going to be close, and it's inside that time. He does take the race lead, and that includes a 2-second penalty, but that review is still ongoing. And maybe we'll get to see it when we see the slow-mo. Here we have it, gate 1. Let's watch. A lot of water action on the pole, and I guess that's what the video review judges will be doing. They'll be using the different angles to determine whether the movement on the pole was just water or whether there was any physical contact.
I'm glad we're not judging that one. That one was very tight, wasn't it?
It was indeed. Well, still. Oh, and I can confirm it has been removed. It was a water splash. So Liam Gigoux holds on to the race lead, but by a bigger margin now. 105.78 is the new time to beat.
Wow, that's a really solid time. That's going to put the pressure on the next guys to come. Not sure where that would have been in the semi, but that was up there, top 5 at least.
Yeah, I think it would have been about top 4, I think.
Yep.
Next to start, Benjamin Savcek for Slovenia, the Olympic champion. He's a world champion, he's a multiple European champion, and he is leading the World Cup standings, equally with his compatriot Luka Bozic, who's also in the final, going into this race. So everything at stake here as he comes into gate 5.
Just struggling to get the turn done above gate 4 there, and washing low on 5. He's got to claw back the meters lost there and the time lost, but he's deceivingly quick, Savcek.
So super consistent this season in the World Cup. 6th place at the first World Cup, then a 2nd, then a 3rd, so 2 podium finishes. And what can he do here? Well, he's in touch very much with Liam Gigoux's time.
Very smooth there. Yeah, amazing. Even with that mistake at the top, he's made up the time. When you watch Savcek, you can just watch every stroke is so meaningful. There's no wasted energy. He's so patient.
I always find, yeah, right. You have to watch his boat, because if you watch him, you think he's slow.
That's right, yeah. And he's patient and he waits for the right time to put a stroke in, where a lot of other paddlers would just do multiple strokes and waste energy. That's sort of the difference.
You're right, and you watch his boat and you realise just how fast he is. Well, he's in touch. He's half a second now up, but he has dropped a little bit of time on 21, but Liam Gigoux wasn't that tidy on there either. So it's all going to be down to this bottom section and the double upstream, and just how deep can you dig into your reserves. And well, Benjamin Savcek's pretty good in that department.
Very good. Last up.
It was a bit sticky, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I think he has done enough. We'll have to wait and see. Benjamin Savcek goes for gold here, and just inside, 105.19, and he takes the race lead for Slovenia, ahead of Liam Gigoux of Ireland and Adam Burgess of Great Britain, after 3 boats in this 10-boat final. Do you think that's enough?
I don't know, there was a few mistakes in that run. I think there's time out there still. It's got to be close to a medal, but I think it'll be just shy.
And that was Liam Gigoux for Ireland in the shot there, who should be pleased with that run, wherever it finishes. But Benjamin Savcek Well, it wasn't quite vintage Sabsek, as you say. He's left some space out there, and we know the fastest raw time it was blistering in the semi-final was 100.84.
Yeah, so there's definitely a bit of time in that course. So 105. Yeah, there's some good paddlers to come. Very excited to see our next paddler, the young Frenchman.
And the first of 3 in a row for France. So the crowd will be getting animated. They didn't get any medals in the women's canoe event, so they'll be hoping for, well, a lockout, I guess, will be their hope.
Yeah.
It's been done before. Let's see, as Moen de Bleekie sets off for France here in Pau. And the first of 3 very talented French athletes. He's late there. Well, he's delivered it, hasn't he?
Saved it very well. Very smooth in the up as well. No big edges. Keeping his composure. Oh, just running straight into gate 7 there. Bit of a line error.
Under 23 world champion of this season and under 23 European Championship silver medalist. Well, a great tight line on 10. Finished 6th at the World Championships in Augsburg, so already very much making a statement about his senior intentions.
Yeah, unbelievably good racing for someone so young.
So now coming down into 14, 15 and 16. It's good. And we'll find out whether he's found time as he comes through gate 18. The second split will tell us that he's still in touch.
Yeah, you can gain 1.4 on the bottom. There's a lot of time down there. See how he does this cracking move.
Oh, especially if you do it like that. He has definitely found time over Sabsek, our current race leader for Slovenia, but now he's got to hold it together and he's got to keep it clean.
Into the last 2 ups. Pretty nice on the crossbow. He's on his onside here, but washes low, just losing his edge.
He's stretching, and we know Sabsek wasn't great on 25, but it's all going to be down to the fine margins now. 105.19, it's the time to beat, and it's going to be outside of that. It's all slipped away at the bottom. Moen de Bleekie of France, though, into 3rd place, still a respectable run. Remember, 104.28, the raw time.
Yeah, very fast. He'll be kicking himself. I think lost it probably in the last gate there. Just leaning upstream in the flow, catching the boat's edge, and washing low and losing the speed.
So here we see, this is gate 7. Just that line error, just a little bit too tight, and has to take the 2-second penalty. Without that, he would be comfortably in the lead. But what if is one of those phrases you hear quite a lot in the sport of canoe slalom.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such an unforgiving sport. And almost every race you think, what if I didn't touch? What if I didn't lean that way? You know, there's always something. There's so much going on. But a great effort there from the Frenchman, and lots to learn. Still so young.
Yeah, and that is the good thing as well about slalom. It's what keeps people going, is the fascination in the process and the challenge against white water. Here is Denis Gargaud-Chanou for France. He's got to be the favourite for this race. He's the world champion of 2011, Olympic champion of Rio, and he is the master of this course. World Cup winner overall in 2021, and at the moment he's lying 8th in the standings, so a win here would really move him right up the order going into the World Cup double points final.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty hard to bet against him here today. He's so good here. And just watch how smooth and composed he is when he paddles.
So he started off his World Cup campaign with a 28th. That was disappointing, but since then, 6th and a 4th. So he's not been outside the final. And look, he's got the advantage at the top. And knowing Denis, he will build into his run.
Yeah, swapping to the right, gaining speed on the lefties, which Sabsek is a lefty, so he's gained speed there, going direct on that move. We'll swap back to the left now. He came unstuck on the bottom, swapping earlier in the semi-final. Let's see if he has fixed up that line error.
So Sabsek leading, the Olympic champion, is leading the race from Tokyo against the Olympic champion from Rio, and he's held on and extended that advantage. 0.59 is now the margin, and that is a good move on 20 to 21.
Very good, very smooth. Boat popped up, nice and light. Oh, very tight on 22.
Super high risk there. And, well, his heart will have been in his mouth, but super fast on 24. The crowd are going wild here. And this is a quick time.
Wow.
A very quick time that we're seeing here. Denis Gargaud-Chenot switches round for his final few strokes.
Wow.
It's going to be close, and it is inside, well inside, 103.73. And he is pleased with that.
Unbelievable. Such great finals racing on the bottom, pushing the lines, pushing the limits. You love to see it.
So at the halfway point of this men's canoe final, Denis Gargaud-Chenot sets the... Well, the crowd are on fire, and of course the French still have another boat to go. But it is the pace set by Denis, 103.73. Here is where this was very tight indeed. But again, he kept his cool, didn't he?
Yeah, perfectly measured. You'd think the French probably have one medal now. Can they get two?
But yeah, and Nicolas Gestin still to go has been a real form boat and lying at the moment in terms of the overall World Cup standings in third place. So he's been consistently delivering across the World Cup season. But yeah, there, smiles on the faces of the French crowd. Denis Gargaud-Chenot there, leading the race at the halfway point in this competition. 103.73, that is the new time to beat. Savsek in second place for Slovenia, Liam Jigou in third place for Ireland.
Il sait qu'il s'entraîne avec eux, il peut passer au-delà, même qu'il doit souvent se confronter à Denis en entraînement, comme à Noël. Ils connaissent le niveau.
Congratulations, Denis. You are currently leading. Are you happy with your final performance?
Yes, I'm quite happy. Not necessarily with the time, but with the switching. It's a lot of pressure, and I'm happy to deliver it on the final.
How is it to compete in front of your home crowd?
It's always a pleasure. I wish all the races could be at home.
Thank you.
Well, a race leader, and that's probably fair. He kind of knows that someone did manage to go quicker in the semi-final. Miguel Trave still to come. He didn't do it clean, but he did manage 100.8 in the semi-final. So if he can get anywhere near his form from there and keep it clean, then Denis Gargaud-Chenot will be under threat.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he knows the bottom was very good, but I think he knows there's probably a little bit of time he left at the top part of the course. Interesting to hear him mention the switching. I've never seen him switch probably so often and so well. So something he's been working on for the last couple of years, and it's impressive to see how well he's doing it.
So the French crowd know that they have someone at the top of the leaderboard at the halfway point, but they still have one boat to go, and it is Nicolas Gestin of France. He is next to start, the under-23 world champion of last season. He's just 22 years old and lying third in the overall standings, a second place, then a win in the World Cup, then just missed out in the last World Cup, 11th place. What can he do here? He's on the course.
Yeah, he's right in the mix. He needs another good result, and the World Cup Series could be his. Looking good here. Let's look at this crux move, 4 to 5. Oh, just getting nothing off the way, but wow, just launching through the eddy. You almost don't know how he does it, but yeah, carrying the speed so well through there, despite being low.
Well, one thing's for sure as well, the Olympic selection process for Paris 2024 within the French team will be interesting. Huge competition for the one place that will be available in the canoe event.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always crazy competitive to get that Olympic spot. You feel sorry for these guys. They're all so good and at such a high level, but only one can go. And this run is looking very good. Right in touch with Denis, 0.08 seconds off the first split.
So nothing to choose between them as he comes into the upstream gate 16. Again, very nicely done, in tight on 16. He's been so consistent this season. And Nicolas Gestin has the opportunity to tighten up his grip on that position in the World Cup standings. And short, a little hesitation, not as good there as Canoe, and you could just feel it for him. It's kind of just lost the run of the boat.
Yeah, right in touch up until then. And it's funny that Denny, he swapped to the right and sort of made the difference there. They both lefties naturally, but being on that upstream blade and the Kraken really got him in high into the next upright.
So running into 25 is still nicely done, and he's clean run. That's important. Gestin is going to be challenging for a place in the top 3. Is it going to be enough? It's outside the top spot and into 3rd place. So it is France 1, Slovenia 2, and France 3 at the moment with 4 boats to go. This is a, well, really exciting final shaping up because we've still got the 4 fastest boats from the semi-final to go.
Yeah, the French paddlers really showing how it's done on the local course. So good throughout that whole run, just losing it on the Kraken, really.
Yep, that's gate 20 to 21. It's just, well, unforgiving, isn't it? You just give it a little bit of an excuse to stall you out, and then it's just like pulling through treacle.
Yeah, it's so hard to repeat in a good way. One of those moves where in training, you get a good one in 5 times. You just hope it comes off on race day.
Well, he should still be happy. He's still banked himself some good points regardless of where he finishes today. He's in the final. He's currently, well, he's guaranteed a top 7 position, but I think he'll have his eyes on hoping to hold on. Well, next to start, Luka Bozic of Slovenia, joint 1st in the standings after 3 races in this ICF World Cup Series. And one very capable of getting on the top of the podium. He's already done it once this season. He did that at the 1st race of the season. Then he was 11th in Krakow, then 2nd in Tarsen. So 2 podium finishes from 3 starts. It's a credit to his ability.
Yeah, he'll be looking to cement himself in that World Cup Series ranking, and also the battle between him and his teammate, both such high-level paddlers, and they're both right up there.
And he's up. He's up on the top section, and again, Luka is very efficient with his stroke. You look at him there, and he doesn't look like he's trying, but he's deadly precise, and he really times the strokes absolutely where they're needed.
Yeah, really nice through there, through the spin. Really good for a lefty. Kept the boat running. Didn't stop the boat in the downstream gate. This next split will be interesting.
Oh, look at that. He's found time, a 2nd up on the race leader. But this is where it all counts now. What can he do here? He does it on the crossbow, and it looks like he's delivered it.
Very well done on the left.
Wow, he's wrapped himself around 21. He's got to keep this calm though, 22 and 23, easy to lose your concentration. And this is surely going to challenge Denis Gargaud-Chanou for the race lead.
Absolutely, this is really good. So deceivingly fast on that top section. Just looks so in control.
So he's just got to dig deep, time it. Well, he's got a review on 24. There is a penalty showing now. And the time to beat, 103.73. He goes in 103.81, and that includes a 2-second penalty. So he is in 2nd place, but that penalty is still being reviewed. I didn't see it myself.
No.
Here we have it. So he does just catch it on the front of his helmet. And, well, great camera angle there. There's, unfortunately for him, no doubt about it. And
great by the judges to pick that up too, in the moment, so tight.
Wow, you can see he knows he's tight.
He does, yeah.
And the penalty confirmed, and 2nd place by just 8/100ths of a second for the current race, well, overall World Cup standings leader. So Denis Gargaud-Chanou, there he is for France, leading the way still, ahead of Luka Bozic of Slovenia, and then Benjamin Savcek of Slovenia. 3 boats to go. And now Thomas Kirklin, the Swiss, had a silver medal in the men's kayak yesterday. Can they get another medal today? Thomas Kirklin on course, who is very strong on this course.
Yeah, watch Thomas. He's usually pretty radical, very exciting. When he's fast, it's really fast, and it looks kind of crazy. Oh, just not coming off there. But it was quick, just picking up the touch. Oh.
Yeah, that's the challenge with Thomas. He's always an exciting paddler to watch because he takes the risks. And I think even on gate 5, if he'd pulled that off, I'm not sure he'd have got gate 6.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. I think the mistakes are starting to get to him maybe mentally here, but yeah, he's right. He toes the line of what's possible, I think, and when it works, it's incredible, but it's hard to get it right.
And that's the sport of canoe slalom. It's all about risk versus reward, so it's good to see he's got back into the rhythm, got back into the groove, and he's not giving up here. He has got a 50-second penalty, though, on gate 10. So if that stands, it is currently being reviewed, then he will be well down the order, unfortunately, in this final. But still, he'll secure some good World Cup points going into the final next weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see him putting on a show for the crowd and pushing right to the finish.
Another penalty at the bottom. And still, that review's finished on gate 10, and the penalty stays. And then there, gate 24, he hasn't actually negotiated it. Could be a 50-second penalty on there as well. So, well, that's sometimes happens in the final. You know that you don't want to leave anything out on the river, do you? You've got to be prepared to lose in order to win, and unfortunately on this occasion, Thomas Kirklin of Switzerland, after a great semi-final performance, doesn't quite find the groove early on in the run, and there was no way back from there. So still, Denis Gargaud-Chanou of France leading the way ahead of Luka Bozic of Slovenia and Benjamin Savcek of Slovenia with 2 to go.
Yeah, Denis Gargaud has a medal as well, secured bronze at worst.
The French crowd will be pleased with that. The French team picked up a medal yesterday in the men's kayak event with Maurice Naveau. And they now, as you say, have a medal. But they don't know what colour. And I'm sure they'll all be wanting to hear the Marseillaise here on the Pau Whitewater Stadium.
Looks like he's feeling the stress there in the kiss and cry section.
Yeah, he knows he's left the door open, doesn't he? It's kind of, he knows it's a good run, but it is beatable. And here is the person who set a blistering pace in the semi-final. Not clean, though. Miguel Trave of Spain goes for gold here in Pau. Can he find the pace and stay off the poles? Because when he is on form, he is unbeatable.
Yeah, absolutely. He's so fast, so light but strong, and just on top of every wave, carries so much speed. A little low there, but like I say, carrying the speed and losing not much time, if any.
He's the first person to win Junior World Championship in kayak and canoe. He did that in the same year. So very much an all-rounder in this sport. But is that a penalty on 9? It is.
Just the bow popping up there on the up, just nicking the gate. Very unlucky. But he's, had a raw time of 100 seconds in the semi, so he can easily take and absorb 1 touch.
Yeah, and if he could do that, well, he would still be just ahead of Gargaud-Chanou, but it's easy for us to say that. He's got to deliver it.
That's right, does lightning strike twice.
So Miguel Trave now coming towards the second split on the course. We'll get an indication of whether he's managed to close it down. No, the gap has grown. So it is advantage to France at the moment. And the time is running out for Trave to be able to find any advantage here. He's good though.
So good. He was so good there as well compared to the rest of the field. And again, so fast.
I think he's fast as well through 22 and 23. He managed to keep the paddle in the water and propelling himself forward. But can he make up 3 seconds on the bottom section? I'm not sure even he can.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's a great finish though. He's giving himself every chance.
So 1:03.73 is the time to beat. He's outside of that time and he stops the clock in 5th place, 1:05.46. And well, that penalty significant.
Yeah, wow. Fast enough to be into the lead, but Yeah, good touch.
Yeah, he would be, without that penalty, if only, again, you know, he would have been guaranteed a medal. He'd be in silver at the moment. Here it is, but there's no doubt about it. 2 seconds of penalty, the bow of the boat flicking up. And that's one of the choices you have to make, isn't it, on the run in. When you're going over a drop like that, into an upstream high in the eddy, you've got to know where you're planning to put the bow of your boat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of, are you coming in with the bow above the gate and necking it, or are you going all the way around? If you go in between, you often will hop a 2 second penalty.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of decision makers. But there is our race leader with 1 to go. Fastest in the semi-final, Matej Benos for Slovakia goes last in this men's canoe final. Great to see him finding his form. He's been consistent, but not quite having the spark to turn him from a finalist into challenging for the podium, but he showed that form in the semi-final.
Yeah, absolutely, and he can be very quick. A different body type to probably most canoe slalom paddlers, standing at 196 centimeters. He's a very big man, but he uses the long levers to his advantage, and he has really good power to weight, and yeah, he's super quick when he's on it.
5th at the World Championships just a month ago, and he's an Olympic silver medalist back in Rio 2016. He's a World Championship medalist, but that was back in 2011. So what can he do here? But he's up on Canoe-Kayak on the top of the course. Well, that'll be interesting. That might silence the crowd a little bit.
Yeah, it's looking like a really nice run. The top looked very controlled, just the boat was always moving. He's really set into his run now. It's a great start.
He really looks like he's just racing without fear, without pressure, and that's definitely working for him at the moment.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at this Kraken move, the crux.
Well, interestingly enough, he's still in the mix, but he's now a deficit to Canoe-Kayak, so it's all down to the Kraken move. And, well, it's good. Whether it's as good as Denis, we don't know, but it's all going to be down to the last few gates. He's good through 22 and 23.
Yeah, there's not much in it. It's going to be very tight. It's hard to split them at the bottom here.
Yeah, I'd call it, being that Canoe-Kayak still is slightly ahead, I think, at this stage.
I think he's touched 25.
He has, and it's game over from a gold medal perspective now. And it is, the title goes to France, but Matej Benos goes into 8th place, and it all slips away at the bottom of the course. And it is Denis Canoe-Kayak who takes gold for France. And listen to the crowd respond to that.
They're loving it. What a great run early on too.
So 103.73, and then it is Luka Bozic and Benjamin Savcek for Slovenia, who are leading the standings jointly, who will still be very hard to separate going into the final race.
All to play for in Liceo.
Well, Matej Benos there, it was a good performance on most of the course, but just didn't find the groove in those last few gates, and the touch on gate 25 was the final nail in the coffin that knocked him off the podium.
It's such an easy game, but a tough game, because you just want to look for that finish and go. When you're at gate 25, you've got to be patient, make sure you deliver the last move.
Well, it's gold again for Denis Canoe-Kayak of France. He won gold last year at the World Cup. He does it again, and he is making this very much his fortress here in Pau and making his mark. He must move right up the order in the World Cup standings. He was lying in 8th place going into this race, and there he is in the final moments, and hopefully we'll get a word with him down at the finish.
Congratulations, Denis. You managed to remain at the top until the very last competitor. How hard it was to wait?
It's always hard to wait for the final result, because those guys are all very strong, and when I see them paddling, I know that they can be quicker, and so you just leave the run with them, and it's never easy.
This is your second consecutive win here in Pau at World Cups. You were also the best last year. Does this course suit you?
I have good memories and bad memories here. So, yeah, I like the course. I'm training here. And, it's always a pleasure to win at home.
In which parts of the course do you think you won today's race?
The course was quite hard already for the heats. And I was thinking it was not going to be easy for the designer to make it harder, and finally they succeeded to make it even harder. So tough, and congratulations to the design.
Thank you very much.
Well, Denis is always a good champion, Olympic champion from Rio. He's a world champion, and now he's a gold medalist here in France. The results of the men's canoe final there. France take gold. We will hear the Marseillaise in front of the home crowd. Luka Božić takes silver for Slovenia, so close to snatching away that French gold medal. And then Benjamin Savcek, the Olympic champion from Tokyo, takes the bronze medal. So Brody, your final reflections on that, what we've just seen, men's canoe final.
Yeah, it's such a great final again, and some really great performances from Denny there, back to back. I mean, Denny all the way through qualifications, semis and finals, and the Slovenians up there again. Božić with the touch, cost him, and then Trave as well, also very quick. Could have won without the touch, so just awesome to see everyone putting it down there in the final.
Yeah, and it's interesting as we go into the World Cup final next weekend in Liceo de Real in Spain, then it's double points, and it is absolutely anyone's game, but it's going to be an exciting race. You can follow that here live at Planet Canoe next weekend. The kayaks on the Saturday start at 9 o'clock with a semi-final, Central European time, and the canoes on the Sunday. And unfortunately for Thomas Kirkland, the Swiss have had a great competition here in Pau, but sometimes it is just not your day.
Absolutely, it's one of those sports. Not everyone can win, unfortunately, and very unforgiving, but a great effort out there by all the paddlers in the final.
So here are the standings for the World Cup. After 4 races, it's the final next weekend, double points, and Božić leads for Slovenia ahead of Savcek. Gestin still in the points, but Gargo Chanou moves right into the mix after his win today. So nothing will be decided until next weekend. But that wraps us up here in Pau for the penultimate session. We'll see you back with Extreme Kayak at 4:30 Central European time. But from me, Andy Maddock, and Brody Crawford, it's bye for now.
Cheers, guys.
Congratulations, Gabriela, your first World Cup win here in Po. Your first thoughts?
Myslím si, že to bylo úplně úžasné. Já jsem se tu jízdu strašně užila. Jsem překvapená, že jsem to zajela, protože